Welcome to the universe in a seashell, the podcast dedicated to science, life, and girl power. I'm Kara Bartek and I'm your host. I'm a PhD, an author, and I want to make this world a more equal and opportune place, one girl at a time. Hey guys, it's Kara, and I am here with... Who am I here with?
Cece and Penny.
And we are right off of spring break, and we are in our first week of school shutdown. Hopefully this is the only week. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we're trying to find ways to be creative, constructive, and keep on learning, right?
Yes.
So we have totally been MIA with the podcast because we've been moving, which, okay, moving is totally a bummer, right?
Yes.
Because when I unpacked y'all's boxes, I found like so many just like broken crayons and fuzz balls and random scraps of paper. And then I also found black oranges. Okay, so this was basically a fossil in and of itself. So apparently, when we packed up our stuff, which a lot of our stuff has been packed up for about a year, right, ladies?
Yes.
One of you knuckleheads packed up some fresh oranges, and I want to know exactly who that was. Like, wait a second. I'm starting the interrogation right now. Who thought it was a good idea to pack up a bunch of fresh oranges? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of finger pointing and
Penny. Both of us did it.
Okay, this is just a small insight into my life. Okay, so nobody is fessing up to packing these oranges, but I get it open, and I basically needed an archaeologist, because at first I had no idea what exactly I was looking at. The only way I could actually determine what it was by smelling it, and it smelled like a giant rotten orange.
That was Cece. No. Both of us did it.
So
it's Cece's
we've
fault.
had a lot of screaming, crying. It's been a big, scary horror show unpacking, because it's never fun to try to retrofit stuff that was meant for one house into another house, right? But we're surviving, and then in the middle of all of this, we have been in this coronavirus scare. And really, it's been more than just a scare. At this point, we are in a state of
Craziness?
we're trying to control the virus, right? I mean, so we're trying to control the spread, because it's, for kids and healthy adults, I think, we've got pretty good outcomes, but there are people that we care about, like the elderly, people that are already sick, maybe cancer patients, and this virus is really no good for them, right?
No, because cancer with all that.
Right. So basically, things like cancer or other medical conditions, it basically suppresses your immune system. And what that means is that your body doesn't have the ability to fight off just regular old colds, viruses, and bacteria. And coronavirus is a little bit different because it's a novel or a new virus to human beings. Of course, the coronavirus itself isn't totally new. Just this type of coronavirus is new to our bodies and our immune systems.
I did not know that.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, so coronavirus is really kind of a generalized term for a type of virus. And they call it the corona because if you look at the little virus itself,
It looks like the sun, and corona means like crown. And the sun kind of looks like a crown.
yeah, because there's those little rays that come off of it. But, one of the biggest impacts we're having is, first of all, it's scary, right? It's scary
Very.
and it's confusing. But I think that one thing we can do, as a family and, as in a community, a community of scientists, is we can really focus on trying to stay
this?
healthy. Yeah, prevent this, stay healthy, but also try to be as normal as possible. So this is one of the
Yeah.
ways that we're going to be as normal as possible. We're going to get right back into universe in a seashell, right?
And don't drink soda. That will get you more sick.
Don't drink soda.
No, don't even drink
Listen,
soda.
if I catch you drinking soda, I'm going to make you eat one of those black oranges, okay?
Ew, no.
I'm gonna make you a black orange sandwich.
Cece's gonna eat that.
A black orange fruit salad. Does that sound good? Okay, so let's get back to normal. And the last episode on the universe in a seashell, we were all about dinosaurs. And I think we ought to continue that. What do you think? Okay, so one of our very good friends, Mary Beth, requested that we talk about pterodactyls. So what do y'all think?
Yes.
You want to talk about pterodactyls?
pterodactyls?
What do you like about pterodactyls?
I like that they can fly.
Yeah, they can fly.
Too.
Now, remember we talked about on some previous podcasts that birds and dinosaurs are very closely related, right?
Because if you ever look at a chicken's feet, it's the same. It's like the same footprint.
Yeah,
like
yeah, totally.
And if you ever have looked at a T-Rex and then looked at a chicken,
They look very
T-Rex
similar.
basically looks like a ginormous chicken that lays ginormous eggs.
Okay,
That would
now
be a very ginormous omelet.
a big omelet and also a really big chicken leg. Can you imagine eating that chicken leg? The T-Rex chicken leg? That's a lot of chicken. That's a lot of fried chicken. Okay.
That will wreck
So
the
guys,
map.
are y'all ready to talk about the pterodactyl?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I've done my research, and one of my favorite websites, Thought Company, because it really puts facts together in a very concise way, was my main source of research on this one. And guess what one of the first things that I found out?
They were related to birds.
There is no such thing as a pterodactyl.
That happened with a different animal. That happened when they...
That brontosaurus, right?
Yes.
Okay, so listen to this. It's unclear at what point pterodactyl, the word pterodactyl, became the pop culture synonym for pterosaurs in general. But for pterodactyls and pterodons in particular, the fact remains that this is the word most people, especially Hollywood screenwriters, Jurassic Park, prefer to use. Working paleontologists never use the term pterodactyl, instead focusing on individual pterosaur genre, of which there are literally hundreds, okay? And woe to any scientist who confuses pterodon with pterodactylus, okay?
Pterodactylus?
Oh, we're going to be talking about so many different types of quote-unquote pterodactyls.
Memorize all these names.
Well, don't worry. We've got an entire week, at least for right now.
I already have my head full with multiplication.
I think you'll survive. Okay, neither pterodactylus nor pterodons had feathers, okay? Despite what some people think, modern birds didn't descend from pterosaurs such as pterodactylus and pterodon, but rather from the small two-legged meat-eating dinosaurs of the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. And many of them were covered in feathers, okay? So I remember you saying, hey, I think pterodactyls were the direct ancestors of our modern birds. But guess what? That's just not true.
What?
As far as we know, Pterodactylus and Pterodon were strictly reptilian in appearance, although there is evidence to suggest that at least some kind of odd pterosaur genre, such as the late Jurassic Sordus, sported hair-like growths.
I've heard of those. They have like skin for their wings.
Oh, the Sordus? Okay, Penny, speak into the mic, speak into the mic.
I thought T-Rexes eat meat too.
Yeah, all
Yes,
of
they
these
eat
guys were
meat.
definitely eating meat. They were not doing like hummus or anything like that. So they were definitely.
I don't think hummus was even invented.
Are you sure? Well, you know,
I don't think they even
we
had
need
chickpeas back then.
we need to check with some of these paleontologists, see if there was any ancient hummus.
Or
Hummus and Peter
peppers.
Sugar peppers.
Ancient peppers. Or Agent salsa.
Chips and salsa, chips and queso. Okay, now listen to this. Pterodactylus was the first pterosaur ever discovered. The type fossil of Pterodactylus was discovered in Germany in the late 18th century, well before scientists had a firm understanding of pterosaurs, dinosaurs, or for that matter, the theory of evolution, okay? Some of the early naturalists mistakenly believed that Pterodactylus was a kind of bizarre ocean-dwelling amphibian that used its wings as flippers, okay? As for pterodon, its type of fossil was discovered in Kansas in 1870 by famed American paleontologist Othniel C. Marsh.
I've heard of dinosaurs that did swim in the ocean.
There definitely were dinosaurs that did swim. Pterodactylus was not one of them.
I know ones that swim in the water
Okay, what?
a lot. There's some, like, Abby totally knows this big one. But
Noted.
there's also,
That is,
there's also
we're
a
noting.
small one.
Yes. Probably related to modern day birds, like the little raptors. Okay, now listen to this fact, okay? Pterodon was much bigger than Pterodactylus. The largest species of the late Cretaceous pterodon attained wingspans of up to 30 feet.
Is that longer than a school bus?
I would imagine a school bus is about that long, okay? 30 feet, that's very, very, very
Then
big.
imagine how long the dinosaur itself was.
Okay, now listen to this. Much larger than any flying birds alive today. By comparison, Pterodactylus, which lived tens of millions of years earlier, was a relative runt. The wingspans of the largest individuals spanned only about 8 feet. So that's just like 2 feet taller than me. Okay, so that's still really long.
It's almost as tall. Isn't Papa like 6 something?
Yeah, but he's not 8 feet tall.
That
He's
would
definitely
be
not 8
crazy.
feet. That would be really crazy. That would be like Sasquatch size, 8 feet tall. Okay. And most species boasted wingspans of only 2 to 3 feet, which is well within the current avian range. There was much less difference in the relative weight of the pterosaurs, however. In order to generate the maximum amount of lift required to fly, both were extremely light. Now, there are dozens of named Pterodactylus and Pterodon species. Pterodactylus was unearthed way back in 1784 and Pterodon in the mid-19th century. And so often it happens with these very early discoveries, subsequent paleontologists assign numerous individual species to each of these genera, with the result that taxonomies of Pterodactylus and Pterodon are just as tangled as a bird's nest. Okay, so basically what they're saying is there's a lot of misidentification going on. So maybe they were accidentally classifying things that were actually the same, but maybe they were different sizes, and they were saying, hey, these are 2 different types of pterosaurs, when in reality, they're probably the same. Yeah.
But just different sizes?
Well, you know, and that's just, it's because that's what happens when you work with fossils.
It's mistakes.
Because you can't actually look at the animal alive and kind of look at the skin, look at the behavior. So they're just taking their best guess. Yes, Penny?
I thought some dinosaurs swim, some don't, but
Yeah, it
I
depends
didn't
if
know
they were in
they
the
have
ocean.
flippers.
Some of
I
them did have
thought
flippers.
they had tails for swimming.
Some of them had flippers, some of them had. Well, we'll be talking about some of these swimming dinosaurs down the road, because guess what? We're going to have plenty of time, right, ladies? Okay. Now, one of the things that is very recognizable on the pterodon and the pterodactylus is they have that crest at the bottom of their skull, right?
Yes.
But guess what? Nobody knows what that was used for. Besides its size, the most distinctive feature of pterodons was its long, backwards pointing but extremely light skull crest, the function of which remains a mystery. Some paleontologists speculate that pterodon used this crest as a mid-flight rudder, okay? So what I mean by that is maybe they had the ability to regulate their flight based upon that. Now,
So like they could lower and then upper?
right, so if you've ever been in an airplane, you'll notice that there are these things on the wings that kind of move up and down, right?
Yeah, we've been in an airplane.
Yeah, and you kind of see those things on the wings that move up and down.
Yeah.
Well, what that's doing, it's kind of regulating exactly how high or how low it's going based upon what that air resistance is going to be like, okay?
I wish the airplane went upside down because some swimmers, when they were dinosaurs, they went upside down and then they made a big like bubble ball or something, and then the bubbles would go away.
That was a nice little tangent, Penny. I obviously, we are going to have to talk about some of these amphibious.
Penny has a book on them. We could look some up.
We're definitely going to have to, but let's stick to the subject at hand, okay? So they're saying that they might have been using these skull crest as flight rudders, but they also think that it might have been one of the things that was specific to either males or females for attracting mates, okay? So kind of like how a peacock has those beautiful bright flowers, yes, to attract all the peahens, okay? It might have been something like that. Peahen, peacock. Peahen, peacock. And then there's pea chicks too. Those are the itty bitty babies. Pea chicks. I wonder what they called baby pterosaurs. Ptera chicks.
Pterodactyls.
Okay, now here's another really crazy fact. Pterodon and Pterodactylus walked on 4 legs. One of the major differences between ancient lizard-skinned pterosaurs and modern feathered birds is that pterosaurs most likely walked on 4 legs when they were on land, compared to birds, which are strictly bipedal, meaning they walk on 2 little legs. Now, how do we know this fact? There are lots of analyses of Pterodon and, yes, Pterodactylus fossilized footprints, okay? And they have found these coming from the Mesozoic era, okay? So that's kind of crazy that they can actually figure this stuff out by looking at fossilized tracks. It's pretty cool. See, so not all information comes just from the fossilized skeleton itself, right? We can find things.
It comes from like
footprints.
Just like whenever you walk in mud and your shoes make a print, and then the day after that it's really hot and the mud dries up, your foot's still there.
Yeah, and there's other clues too.
Even when you step in ant piles, when ants are gone, there's still your footprint.
Yeah, so we can use those footprints to tell, things about their behavior. We found out that they're walking on 4 legs, but we can also find out different things about, let's say, fossilized plants during that time, so we can figure out exactly what they were eating. And there's even instances of paleontologists finding fossilized poop.
That's
okay?
what I was just about to say.
Hey, great minds think alike. Yeah, fossilized poop. And so what do you think poop tells us? Make sure you
what
talk
they
to the mic.
eat, how they digest it.
Girl,
Yeah.
yes.
But some dinosaurs have rocks in their poop.
Okay, I'll give whoever can answer this a sherbet. Oh, and I wish I could give you guys out there in listening land a sherbet, but I'll give Penny or Cece a sherbet. If you can tell me what those rocks in the tummies are called.
Oh, it starts with an O, right?
It starts with a G.
Oh, gagmite?
Gastro.
Gastrophysics?
Gastroliths.
Gastroliths.
Okay, I'll give y'all some ice cream anyways. Okay.
We ate a good lunch.
You did eat a good lunch. Okay. Now, male pterodactyls. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a second. I skipped a fact. Let me get this one. Pterodactylus had teeth and pterodons didn't. Okay, beside their relative sizes, one of the major differences between Pterodactylus and pterodon is that the former pterosaur possessed a small number of teeth, while the latter, the pteranodon, was completely toothless. This fact, combined with pteranodon's vaguely albatross-like anatomy, that's a big bird, has led paleontologists to conclude that the larger pterosaur flew along the seashores of the late Cretaceous North American and fed mostly on fish, while Pterodactylus enjoyed a more varied but less impressively sized diet. Okay? And Penny and Cece are hand fighting, and that's very distracting. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of that. Okay, ladies, we've just got a few more facts. Do y'all think y'all can keep it together?
Yes.
Because I'm going to have to take that ice cream away.
No, sherbet.
Okay.
I want sherbet.
Okay, let's get through these last two facts. Okay? Now, male pteranodons were bigger than females. Okay? In relation to its mysterious crest, pteranodon is believed to have exhibited sexual dimorphism, okay? That means the males of this genus being significantly larger than the females. The dominant pteranodon sex also had a larger, much more prominent crest, okay? So we see this in a lot of animals in the wild, right? So we can identify a male cardinal versus a female cardinal, right? What's the male cardinal look like?
Red.
And what about the
Red.
female?
Brown.
Yeah. So we can easily identify which gender is which, right?
Like a blue jay, I think.
Yeah, what about blue jays? What's the male blue jay?
I think the male is blue and the female is brown.
I think you're right. I'm not totally
not
sure about
sure.
that. But that's, for bird species, that's pretty common. And then, of course, we talked about the peacock. The male peacock is gorgeous. All
and
those
then
pretty
the
flowers.
female is like
Much more
dull.
understated. Yeah, she's kind of like gray or white. And then, of course, the pea chicks are just super cute and little.
And they have the all little tails.
Itty bitty tiny tails.
And then it'll turn big when you go older.
Okay, now listen to this. Because we've already talked about these pterosaurs having the potential of a wingspan of 30 feet. That's about as long as a school bus, right?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Neither Pterodactylus nor Pterodon were the biggest pterosaurs, okay? A lot of buzz. Let me read. Okay. A lot of buzz originally generated by the discovery of Pteranodon and Pterodactylus has been co-opted by the truly gigantic Quetzalcoatlus.
Quetzalcoatlus?
Quetzalcoatlus.
That's so weird.
That's a crazy. Do you see? Look how, Quetzalcoatlus.
Quetzalcoatlus.
Now this is a late Cretaceous pterosaur with a wingspan of 35 to 40 feet, okay? About the size of a small plane. Fittingly, Quetzalcoatlus was named after Quetzalcoatl, the flying feathered god of the Aztecs. Okay, so that's like the biggest pterosaur. So can you imagine what would be like to see one of those guys flying around? That's really cute.
It would be like feeling 20 helicopters.
Now listen, I would definitely not want to be pooped on by that guy. That'd be a huge poopy. I wonder if they found that guy as poopy. It would totally just crush you. It could probably put like a hole in the roof of your house, right?
Oh.
So anyway, guys, that's what we know about pterodactyls. Hey, we are taking suggestions for the show. Drop me a line, universeinaseashell@gmail.com. Of course, you can send me messages on Facebook, however you want to get a hold of me. I hope that you are all staying safe and sane and keeping up with your schoolwork. We wish you guys the best, And here's to some family time, right? Staying at home, not driving your mom and dad crazy. Can y'all promise me that?
Yes. Fine.
Y'all need to tell me who did those black oranges, okay?
Penny! Stacy! Did you problem a dumpster?
All right, bye guys.
Bye.